A royal doctor has broken silence, revealing unsettling truths about King Charles's health and a hidden power struggle inside Buckingham Palace. As Queen Camilla's influence comes under scrutiny, new revelations threaten to reshape the monarchy's future. What has been concealed, and who stands to lose everything? Behind the gilded gates of Buckingham Palace, a quiet unease has been building, not the kind born from public scandal or political pressure, but something far more personal and far more dangerous. A single exchange, carried out without ceremony or record, has reportedly placed King Charles in possession of information capable of shaking the royal family to its core. Sources suggest a previously low-profile royal doctor has emerged as a pivotal figure, holding medical knowledge that could redefine how the king's health is understood by both the palace and the public. Until recently, this physician operated far from media attention, trusted with discretion, silence, and unwavering loyalty. Now, that silence appears to be breaking. Since this development, Queen Camilla's behavior has reportedly shifted in noticeable ways. Insiders claim she has taken on a more visible role in areas traditionally reserved for the monarch himself, including signing sensitive documents, overseeing medical briefings, and convening private meetings with advisors tied to Charles's treatment. To some within the palace, these actions appear protective. To others, they raise difficult questions about influence, authority, and motive. At the center of the tension stands King Charles, a monarch shaped by decades of duty, discipline, and long-earned patience. His daily routines remain outwardly unchanged. Early mornings, carefully reviewed documents, and quiet reflection still define his schedule. Yet those close to him say something has shifted beneath the surface. A heightened caution, a sharpened awareness, a sense that critical decisions can no longer be postponed. For years, Charles has relied on a close inner circle built on loyalty and confidentiality. Figures such as his private secretary and senior advisors have acted as both guardians of royal protocol and protectors of personal trust. But recent events appear to have tested even these long-standing bonds. According to reports, an urgent internal alert prompted the king to convene a private meeting away from routine public engagements. The tone of the request alone reportedly signaled the gravity of what awaited him. Not a ceremonial matter, not a routine update, but a development described by insiders as potentially destabilizing. As Charles moved through palace corridors lined with portraits of his predecessors, those familiar with the moment say he began connecting a series of subtle signs he had previously overlooked. Unusual scheduling changes, shifts in medical oversight, decisions made on his behalf during moments of fatigue. Actions once interpreted as care or efficiency began to take on a more complex meaning. Inside a secured chamber, a small recording device reportedly became the focal point of the discussion. The contents, according to sources familiar with the matter, suggested conversations between Queen Camilla and medical personnel that raised serious concerns about how information regarding the king's health had been framed. It's been said the recordings implied pressure to emphasize vulnerability, cognitive strain, or the need for reduced decision-making capacity. Whether intended as precaution or strategic influence remains a subject of intense speculation. What is clear is that King Charles reportedly interpreted the revelations as a breach of trust at the highest level. Further documents allegedly revealed the use of royal authority to fast-track appointments and administrative changes benefiting individuals aligned with Camilla's inner circle. The suggestion of power being exercised beyond agreed boundaries has fueled growing tension among palace officials. Observers say Charles's reaction was not explosive, but controlled and deliberate, a shift from personal hurt toward institutional responsibility, from emotional shock toward sovereign resolve. The situation, as it stands, is no longer viewed merely as a private marital conflict. It has become a matter of royal integrity, governance, and the future balance of power within the monarchy. And as King Charles prepares for a direct confrontation with the doctor said to hold the final piece of the truth, the question now looming over the palace is this: when the full story comes to light, whose authority will survive intact, and whose legacy may be permanently rewritten? As the palace tightened its internal security, King Charles reportedly requested a private meeting with the royal doctor whose silence had finally broken, not as a patient seeking reassurance, but as a sovereign demanding clarity. The shift in tone was unmistakable. This was no longer about routine health briefings. It was about truth, accountability, and the future of the crown. Sources claim the meeting took place late at night, away from formal chambers and public oversight. The atmosphere, by all accounts, was tense. The doctor, once composed and confident, is said to have arrived visibly shaken, carrying the weight of decisions that had placed both his career and his conscience in jeopardy. Those familiar with the encounter suggest the king did not begin with accusations or anger. Instead, he presented a collection of medical records, timelines, and internal notes that hinted at discrepancies between what had been officially reported and what had been privately understood. The implication was clear. Information about Charles's condition may have been shaped, softened, or strategically framed. It's been said the doctor hesitated at first, torn between professional obligation and personal fear. According to insiders, pressure had been applied in ways that extended beyond medical ethics. Concerns about family security, professional standing, and legal consequences allegedly played a role in keeping certain details suppressed. What reportedly emerged during that conversation was not a dramatic confession, but a gradual unraveling of carefully maintained silence. The doctor is said to have acknowledged being urged to emphasize signs of fatigue, vulnerability, and potential cognitive strain in official assessments. Whether intended to protect the monarch from overexertion or to justify increased external oversight remains a matter of interpretation. For King Charles, however, the revelation carried a deeper sting. If accurate, it meant decisions about his capacity, authority, and autonomy had been influenced by narratives not entirely of his making. The notion that his strength may have been understated or his limitations overstated reportedly struck at both his dignity and his trust. The king's response, sources say, was measured but resolute. Rather than seeking retribution, he focused on safeguarding institutional integrity. He reportedly assured the doctor protection in exchange for full transparency moving forward, framing the matter as a chance to restore honesty rather than prolong secrecy. Behind the scenes, palace advisors began preparing for what many now describe as an inevitable reckoning. Legal teams reviewed protocols. Communications officials drafted contingency plans. Senior courtiers quietly debated how to manage the fallout should details become public. At the heart of it all stood Queen Camilla, whose role has become the subject of intense scrutiny. Insiders claim her involvement was not impulsive but calculated, driven by a mixture of concern, self-preservation, and a desire to maintain stability. To some, her actions suggest a protective instinct toward the king. To others, they point to an attempt to consolidate influence during a vulnerable period. Camilla's reported strategy extended beyond medical oversight. Documents reviewed by palace officials allegedly show efforts to reshape advisory circles, elevate trusted allies, and secure positions for individuals aligned with her network. The cumulative effect, critics argue, created the impression of a parallel power structure